Surreal. So Surreal was created with the dream of virtual reality that we've all kind of known and experienced really through Hollywood, right? So we all have that vision of snapping our fingers and materializing somewhere magically, kind of being anywhere we want to be, where we want to be. And this is, of course, one of the reasons why this market is projected to be a $150 billion market within 5 years. Probably the reason why many of you are in this room. So we got very interested and we started looking into it. We kind of looked at the state of the art in social VR, and we just thought it left a lot lacking. People were doing interesting things, but they were not really focused on making something that was either as immersive or as visually appealing as that vision that was sold to us by Hollywood. So of course that's always a stretch, but we thought the time now is to kind of lay down the gauntlet and actually start producing those kind of experiences. So that's what Surreal is all about. The goal is to create real avatars for surreal experiences. And we think a lot of people talk about, in the industry, talk about the uncanny valley and can the avatars really look like real humans? And there are obviously challenges that remain, but what we've done is we tie your behavior, the behavior of the avatar, to how the avatar behaves, whether it's moving your hands or talking, whether it's lip syncing or even potentially swimming. All of those things should be possible, and in fact we want you to interact with the universe around you as if it's magic, right? So you can call up the type of things with interfaces that, again, that you may have seen in the movies, and experience them not just by yourself, but also together with your friends, which is kind of the vision that Dr. Berg expressed when he said you want to share experiences with your friends. So again, the goal is we're going to go virtually anywhere. A lot of you already got the chance to experience our dragons a little bit. Some of you hopefully will try some more. But the goal is to take experiences that are really out of this world and make them available to you, but make you feel like you're genuinely there. And that's what we've been trying to achieve. The other key challenge, we believe, is portability. And so the reason for that is, as amazing and as cool as the Oculus is, you're hearing every day different press releases, Morpheus, HTC's device, Gear VR. We just think that the reality is it's going to be an incredibly fragmented space, especially for the next couple of years. So we felt we have to be everywhere. We're using an engine called Unity, which is probably the most portable engine out there. We will support mobile VR. We are supporting the Oculus DK2, which many of you can experience here, and other devices. And that, again, I think is key for adoption of virtual reality on a large scale. We're free to use, but supported by a virtual goods economy. A lot of people that are in the game space, they always think it's a little controversial. People are worried about freemium content. We think, though, it's the best, it's the perfect match to what this type of content can produce, so we can deliver everything to you for free and basically sell you things that improve your avatar or make you more interested in your avatar and also tie you to it to a larger degree. We think it's kind of a perfect match. Finally, in terms of us, we've been in the gaming space. Surreal was born kind of on the ashes of a mobile gaming company, so we have pretty deep experience in doing that kind of stuff. We thought what would be the next act to follow. We decided that virtual reality would be the most interesting thing to do, and that's really Surreal. In the October timeframe, and to actually launch with the launch of the Oculus release candidate. So that's probably a first quarter deliverable. One of the key challenges is whenever you're building a virtual world, it's a world. So there's a lot to do. We have the framework. What we're also doing, and I don't know how many people here, maybe I could get a show of hands of how many people have tried Unity or are using the Unity game engine. Oh, wow, okay, great. So basically one of the things that Surreal is doing is there's a plugin. It's not available on the asset store yet, but it will be into the fall, that you can drop into any Unity environment and you get our avatar systems. You can explore it, interact with it. Not very different than just dropping the Oculus cameras in as it stands today, but you get everything that Surreal has with it. And so this is one of the ways in which we hope to really grow our environment. And the content all sits on the cloud as Unity scenes that you can download. Go ahead.
Do you ever use something like this in a medical setting for people who can't walk or?
There are a lot of people that are exploring. VR is a huge field, so when they're saying $150 billion, and I really believe it, they're actually underselling it. You know, we just saw the example with autism. I've actually talked to someone who's working on a phobia cure. And so there's a lot of ways. There's definitely educational medical applications that I've seen with my own kind of eyes. I have not particularly sought that, but I can tell you one thing, which is, you know, I tend to use entertainment analogies simply because that's my primary market. So I always tell people, like, you know, imagine you're playing poker with someone and you can see if you're fidgeting because you're nervous about your cards. But in reality, it applies to anything. And the level of immersion we provide certainly can be very, you know, helpful in helping people. So I do think the applications are tremendous for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you tell us a bit about, I guess, team size in the different departments and how that compares with making games not for VR? Have you worked on previous to this?
When you say team size, I'm sorry.
As far as just distributing resources for like coding and design.
Oh, I see.
And how that compares.
I don't think this is different than any, you know, you have that, you know, minimally viable project type guidelines, and you tend to have 3 to 5 people. We have 8 people, 4 full-time and 4 part-time. And again, our goal is to reach out to Unity developers in the community and help us build this. Now, it is curated still, right? So, of course, you know, I'm not going to take someone's, you know, first Unity lesson and make them available to our audience. And it does take pretty good skills to make something that's navigatable in terms of the scale and perspective for a VR environment. But I think it's pretty typical. It's not very different. I think where the challenges come in for VR, the first mistake that people make is because you can do something like put the Oculus camera into a 3D scene, they think that, you know, they can do VR. And the reality is the challenges. We really have to explore the challenges with the user interface. You know, even here in the demo, you know, and I think for the most part, I hope people certainly like it. But you're transitioning sometimes, you know, between using hands, using controllers, you know, that kind of stuff requires a lot of thought and planning so that the experience can be smooth, especially if you're looking for mass adoption. So for us, one of the key challenges is mobile. Mobile requires its own set of expertise. So like you know, like we reached out to experts. We happen to have a lot because we were from a mobile gaming space, but that grew our team larger to achieve that goal. Go ahead.
I haven't seen the demo yet, but for things like hand gestures, what are you using for input hardware? Looking at Leap?
So we are using Leap Motion for this demo, but generally speaking, one of the key differentiating points for Surreal is what we've done is the ragdoll of the avatar is tied into whatever input is coming in. So there's a general system that will take input either from Leap or from RealSense or from, you know, one of the omnidirectional treadmills. However motion is applied to the avatar, we're translating it and we're showing it to you in scene as well as sending it to everyone who might be observing you. So really that's like a part of our avatar layer or part of the Surreal plugin, if you will. And then whatever device you might attach, whether it's a tracker or whatever, you know, we just use that input if it's available. And if it's not available, like let's say you're on a mobile device, you're clearly there, not going to have all those options, then we just don't use it. You know, when you use voice, for instance, we lip sync based on the phoneme library, so to try and give you a realistic expression of the face. We're also looking at things like actually capturing face expressions. There are some technologies out there, but nothing that's wide penetration enough. So our goal over time is to keep advancing the state of the art. It's definitely not a standstill kind of technology. You have to keep advancing it. Anyone else?
Plenty of time for more questions. I guess I got one. Are you coming for the Unite conference next month?
So we're actually exhibiting at the Unite conference. Unity asked us when they saw the stuff, they've been actually dying for someone to make a real stab, like a serious effort at a virtual world on top of Unity. So they invited us, and I'm going to be talking on Wednesday, so please stop by if you're there. And we may, I think the meetup is overlapping today, so we may stop by here as well and talk to you guys, definitely. And again, feel free if you want to ask questions, more detailed questions, just stop by or check out the demo. That's what we're here for. We're traveling from New York to see you guys.
Thank you.